Hi, this is Dan again from Clean Guru, and today I promised you we'd talk about quality control and inspections, something that you might think of, and rightfully so, boring. Important, but boring. And I promised you I'd try to tell you a few things about it that you might not find boring. So here it is. When it comes to inspections, quality control inspections, we found that short, general, and frequent beats long, detailed, and infrequent. What am I trying to say? Well, you know, early on when we had our cleaning company, we were trying to be very professional. And so we developed a very long, detailed inspection form. And so early in the month, we'd go out to fill out that form, which took quite a bit of time. Then we had to send someone out to see the staff to talk about it, make sure later on that it got taken care of. Well, the process of doing that was too long. It wasn't the right tool for the right job. For example, I guess I could say a funny story. For example, you hate to think that when you filled out the inspection form, it was because there was employee A and employee B. They're the ones doing the work. But by the time you went out to talk to them a week later, maybe employee A is gone, and now you got employee B and a new person, employee C. And by the time you follow up later to make sure it was done, employee B is gone. Well, that's not always the case, but the point is the fluid nature of cleaning can be that to use the wrong tool for the wrong job. It's not the appropriate tool. We found that if we did short, frequent, and general inspection quality control, it worked much better. So for example, rather than a very formal, detailed inspection form, we might use a short quality control checklist. It might even be a nightly checklist. We had many locations like that where our manager would spend 10, 15 minutes, a site supervisor, completing a very short, general checklist for quality control. Extremely effective. We're able to leave it for our customer. We faxed it back to our office. We talked to our person the next day. It worked great because the site supervisor had a very usable, short form. You know, the formal documents may make people feel professional, but we feel some of that is kind of a phony professionalism. Of what good is it if the folks that see this have a hard time understanding it, it's hard to get back out to talk about it, it's unclear. We feel a lot of those they look professional, but in terms of real value, it's questionable. We had much better look with shorter, more general, more useful, and more frequent. We could do them daily or weekly, not have to wait for some big, detailed, formal inspection. We were keeping up on it all the time, and that really worked well for the nature of cleaning. It's something you might want to look at in your cleaning company. Now next time we want to talk about another management issue, another operational issue. When is the best time to raise prices in a building? Well, of course, right automatically you might say, well, you know, when consistently you're finding that you're not making the proper profit on a job, you know, it's time to raise the price on that job. So when's the best time to do it? Well, first of all, when it's appropriate, when you feel financially you need to. But there's another important reason that's less obvious, but is very, very important, and I want to share that reason, that factor with you next time. We'll talk about it quite a bit. Until then, remember, you can do this. You really can.